A high-value man is a capable man. I think capability can be judged in many different ways, and capability is something which varies depending on the situation. You need a man who is capable of doing lots of different things that he doesn't do very often. You need a man who's capable of being violent when the time appears. Of course, you need a man who's capable of making money. You need a man who can kill somebody and hold a baby in the same day. You need a man with a very broad spectrum of qualities and assets and capabilities. And this is actually what the most difficult thing about being a man is. Most females don't respect how difficult it is to become a high-value man. Because to become a high-value man, you need to have so many different qualities. A very difficult thing to do. You need to be funny and smart and charismatic and interesting with stories and strong and rich. Most females don't respect how difficult it is to become a high-value man. Because to become a high-value man, you need to be funny and smart and charismatic and interesting with stories and strong and rich. Whereas to be a high-value female, you need to be hot. If you're nice, it's a bonus, but it's not even that necessary.
That's it.
If you go to Monaco and you see a yacht and you see a man on that yacht, he had to work his entire life and network his entire life and get up early and deal with stress and tax problems and police problems and work his ass off to buy that boat. What did the girl have to do? The girl who was on that boat, the 19-year-old, she had to get a message on Instagram. Boom.
Hey gents, for today's video, we're going to go over the 3 rules high-value men should avoid breaking. The sooner you start following them, the better you start following them, the better for you. And the better you stick with these 3 rules, the longer you keep being the top dog. Every man out there constantly asks himself the same straightforward question. What's the trick? A normal man who hasn't had much success meeting women wonders aloud. What's that man's secret? When he encounters another man who has, and we frequently question ourselves, what does he know that I don't know? When we see other men who are significantly more successful than ourselves in business, sports, and pretty much anything else in life, and everything starts to change when you eventually learn the secret, whether on your own or by someone else informing you. Value your attention. This is the first rule on the list. Whether you realize it or not, our world truly functions on attention, which makes it the most precious form of money. 1 billion different people are continuously vying for that person's attention in a society where everyone is constantly on their phones. People often inquire as to why a girl at their school spends so much time flirting with them, but never goes any further. Men have questioned why women would even bother to flirt with them if they didn't really like them in the first place. You men need to realize that both women and boys enjoy being the center of attention. However, you could contend that women adore it even more than men do. This is why some women may make passing flirtatious comments or use evasive, ambiguous language to give the impression that they like you even though they have never liked you and never will. It's similar to casting a line into the ocean and capturing a fish solely for the enjoyment of doing so. Even though you were well aware that you wouldn't be keeping the fish, you decided to test your mettle by casting the line into the water. Women frequently possess the same trait as men, which means they would pretend to like you to discover how simple it would be to attract you. Many of the stereotype players or men likewise act in this way. Nevertheless, men almost always do it because they genuinely want to pull in their prey, as opposed to women who just do it for attention when they do it. We men only have so much time in the day to devote to things, and if we want to succeed, we must make sure that our attention is being focused on the areas that will yield the best outcomes. Due to their awareness of the value of their attention to the average man, the majority of women hardly ever give it away unreservedly. Or to put it another way, they are aware of the importance of their attention. These days, men compete fiercely with one another for the attention of women everywhere. And a lot of men don't usually respect their own attention. Most men are willing to openly devote their attention to women, even if they don't like them. And as a result, they start to resemble other single men or men who are desperately trying to attract attention. A woman would often catch 15 fish every time she casts a line into the ocean, but a man may be lucky to capture just 1 or 2 fish. And the reason for this is that women are generally pickier about the kinds of men they pay attention to, and value their attention more highly than men. The most valuable resource we have is attention. Therefore, it is preferable to focus on your purpose, your objectives, and things that will improve your life rather than continuously giving it away freely to women, rather than being like every other man who has nothing going on. Number 2. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. Women will always want to steer us away from our goals because they don't want us to make them our goals in the process. Nothing is less appealing to a girl than a man who makes her the center of his universe. We men don't feel fulfilled while we're just lounging about, but we are when we are pursuing our passion, purpose, or ambitions. Your current goal may be to increase your income, and after you accomplish so, you might start to receive some additional revenue. You can discover later that your goal is unrelated to obtaining wealth. Whenever the case, having a purpose in life and being of service to others is essential. And when you are committed to your goal, you don't chase women or readily give your focus to others. And it is for this reason that men are so incredibly alluring. High-value men act in this manner. Instead of pursuing women, pursue your goals. Knowing that there is always more is the final rule for today's video. The main distinction between beta men, who don't have as many options, and alpha men is simply their mentality or point of view. What would you do if a woman showed interest in you? Given this circumstance, the majority of men will seize this chance because they sincerely believe they may never again encounter a girl who is interested in them. A man who women chase differs from a man who chases women in that the latter approaches life with a sense of scarcity. Pickier tends to be the norm for high-value women, not just with women, but with friends, business dealings, and many other aspects of life as well, because they are aware that they can always get more and that there are other possibilities available. Truly believing that there is always more to be had, more money, more women to pick from, and better friends to have is one of the most potent things a man can do. In the world, there are literally billions of women, so why not exercise caution in selecting them? You don't need to feel desperate once you realize there are other solutions available. And it's this particular way of thinking that flips the script and gives you the appearance of being a more desirable and high-value man. Gents, if you stick to these rules I talked about, you'll become and stay a top dog in no time. Anyway, that's all for today's episode on Circle of Kings. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It motivates me to create more content for you. See you next time. Cheers.